Hello, welcome to Friendship Moments. We're here at the little church by the road. God has given us so many ministries to work on. We got the girls' ranch we're trying to do, and got Helping Hands ministry with people that's having struggle with their rent or their utilities or something. And we just want to give God all the credit for that. He is really showing out. Well, today my devotional was talking about when Jesus first miracle was when he turned the water into wine. We've heard that. It comes from John, second chapter. And the thing that gets me is why was this miracle? Why did he start out his ministry here on earth with this miracle? I mean, he had parted the Red Sea and some other miracles, but now this one. Why did he do it? I mean, he just made a lot of wine at a wedding fest, and it says and as we dig deeper into it, we think about exactly what he really did. His first of all, his mother asked him to do it, and the vessels that he used were vessels that they used to cleanse yourself with. They were the water that was used in them. And when you went to the wedding, you might have had to walk a mile or two to get there, and your feet were dusty and you were dirty. And if you rode on a donkey, you probably smelled like a donkey, and so you kind of wanted to be cleaned up for the wedding. And Jesus used these vessels, and he told them to fill those vessels up as far as they could go. In other words, fill them to the brim. And they say that each vessel probably held about maybe 20 gallons of water, and there were 6 of them. And so you're talking about 120 gallons of wine. That's like, I don't know, maybe about 700 bottles of wine. That's a lot. And it wasn't cheap wine either. It was the best wine. And they all agreed on that it was amazing that they waited till they ran out of wine, which was embarrassing for the party, and then they brought out the best wine. That was a pretty amazing thing. But to look at the miracle that he did in the New Testament, we have to go back to the Old Testament, because Jesus is all the way through the Bible. He's not just in the New Testament. He didn't just show up. And the prophets often describe when the Messiah comes, that it will be a time overflowing with wine, and that means it's going to be good times. And in Genesis chapter 49, and when Jacob blesses Judah, he says his garments will be washed in wine, and his robes in the blood of grapes. And in Joel chapter 3, verse 18, it says the mountains shall drip sweet with wine. And the prophet Isaiah says in chapter 25, verse 6, he says that the feast of salvation is pictured with a well-aged wine and well refined. And Amos chapter 9, verse 13 says the mountains will drip with sweet wine and the hills will overflow with it. What does that tell me? Well, it tells me that there's so much wine that this is common, this water. And that's a very important part to remember there, that Jesus, when he turned the wine into water, that it was an abundance of it. And when you go on and read down in John chapter 2, verse 11 says, his disciples believed him. I mean, they didn't understand everything that was happening to them. They couldn't. And I think about maybe if Judas Iscariot had been there, he would have probably been thinking, well, if he can turn water into wine, maybe he can turn these rocks into gold. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, they saw this miracle as a sign of his divine power and glory. And it wasn't just about the wine. It revealed Jesus as the Messiah who could do what no one else could do. And as we move forward into the cross, and later they would understand it more fully, the wine at Cana pointed forward to the wine at the Last Supper, which symbolized his blood poured out for the forgiveness of sins. That's the new covenant. When the big picture is that at Cana, Jesus brought joy and abundance to a wedding feast. They had run out of wine. They didn't know what to do. It was embarrassing. But at the cross, he brought an abundance of eternal joy and salvation through his sacrifice. The first miracle quietly foreshadowed the greatest miracle, which was his death and his resurrection. And that we have that to stand on also. I want to thank you for watching our videos, and I encourage you to read John chapter 2 and dig deeper into it. There's more into it than just turning water into wine. A lot more to it. Go back in the New Testament and read these verses. And if you're ever here at the little church by the road, we'd love to have you. You may come in as a stranger, but I promise you, you're going to leave as a friend. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.